Wednesday night. A little bit of a weirdness thing going on with Blog Talk. So tonight's show is only going to be an hour, and that's that. But everything goes back to normal tomorrow. I think that might have something to do with maintenance. I have no idea. I don't pull the strings. I just kind of try to schedule it. And it was either do an hour now or do 2 hours starting at 9:30. And sorry, that one just didn't want to fly with me. Besides, I'm going to slack tonight. Only yap for an hour. I'm still waiting to hear from Elliot. I didn't hear from him today, and I know what his schedule can be like. It can get all messed up and what have you. So no harm, no foul there. As I hadn't touched base with him over the last couple of days, simply because we've been a little worried about Tony, and well, that's just me, It's that whole brother-in-arm things, right? Anyway, so what kind of a friend would I be, right? But needless to say, I'll give you guys some updates on that and what's going on, and I'm pretty sure we can fill an hour, and we have Jim join up with us tonight as well, so I don't think me filling an hour is... it's like taking a bucket to Niagara Falls. No problem. How you doing, Jim?
Hey, I'm good. I think since today is equinox, and Santos kind of made a big deal about that. He was very curious as to what was going to happen, what kind of weird things. And, I mean, I had a strange one that happened to me today, and I'm kind of curious before Elliot comes on if there's anybody else out there that experienced some weird things today, because my day started out, I was traveling down the highway on my way to work, and I've got my own homemade tags, and I don't have a license, and I don't have insurance, and I don't have any of that stuff, and I didn't even notice, but I came on the up ramp, getting on the highway, and I only got about a quarter mile down the highway, and I just noticed some in the corner of my eye, in my side mirror, a car just a little bit back from me in the left lane, and I didn't think anything of it and didn't really pay attention to it. I'm just, because I drive on cruise most of the time when I'm on the highway. So all of a sudden I see this car that's to my left and behind me, pulls behind me, and I just kind of glanced up, and it's a cop. So I'm thinking, oh great, what a way to start the day. Well, I just didn't pay any attention to him. He followed me for probably 4 miles, and then all of a sudden he just pulls around me and goes on.
It's got to that point, Jim, where they're just not wanting the hassles anymore. Because all these guys see, especially the ones that have been around for a while, they're starting to see it. That's just a shit pile of paperwork, and that's what we got to do, guys.
There were very odd things that happened. I was on my cell phone talking, and I don't know if you've ever heard of Hal Dykema, but I mean he listens to you guys and stuff all the time. I've told him he needs to call in more, but. Or he needs to call in, period. But
and who is this again?
His name is Hal Dykema, and he talks in parables and allegories. He's really hard to follow.
Oh no, I'd love to have him. That's exactly my language.
Oh, I know. I told him. I said, you need to call into these shows, man. But anyway, so I'm talking to a friend of mine on the phone, and my phone's beeping. Somebody's calling in, and I look down. Well, it's Hal. So I'm like, okay, well, I need to call Hal back when I get off the phone. So I got off the phone eventually, and I called him back. And he goes, boy, that was weird. And I said, what's that? And he says, well, I was on the phone with Dee Dee, and he says, I saw that you called me. And he says, I was just talking about you. And I go, okay. I said, well, Hal, why did you call me? And he goes, I didn't call you. And I go, yeah, you did. And he says, no, I didn't. He says, I was on the phone with Dee Dee. And I'm like, okay. So we talked for a little bit and everything, and then we got off the phone, And I mean, it wasn't 5 seconds, and my phone rings again, and it's Hal.
just getting weirder.
And I go, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, Hal, are you there? Hal, are you there? And finally, after about 10 seconds, he says, did you forget something? And I go, you just called me again. And he goes, no, I didn't. And I'm like, man, this is weird. So I'm curious if anybody else out there had some strange experiences today.
Well, the only one I can have a claim to fame to is just the way Blog Talk was working, because when I have to schedule midnight Greenwich Mean Time because Critical Mass Radio set up through the UK. So for me to book like tonight, I have to book at midnight Thursday, because that goes back one day, right? So it's a bloody nuisance is what it is. You got to be on your toes in your scheduling, I'll tell you that much, because for Wednesday I have to click Thursday and et cetera, et cetera. So I've got to think of the shows that I've got coming up and then put them in accordingly. But what I did notice when I tried to book the 2 hours, it would allow me to book at 1:30 a.m. So there's an hour and a half window there. So this is why I'm thinking it's maintenance, or they just don't want me talking on the air at that particular time. I don't know. I contacted Paul at Critical Mass, and he had no idea what was going on with regards to that. So there's my weird instance. I do want to give a little bit of an update of what I know of Tony's whereabouts.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, he. I haven't talked to him yet. That's Tony, right? It's just Tony. He's pretty. What's the word? Resourceful. That's the word I'm looking for. Anyway, the friend that I contacted that got a hold of him. I'll leave the names out of it for now, just for my own reasons. They know who they are, and I love them, and they know I do, and I can't be more appreciative for the help that they've put a hand out. And there are many others that have kicked in, getting word out, and so Tony is surrounded with friends at least where they can get to him, or he can get to them. Anyway, last check was he's out of London with a friend of this friend, and he's trying to get a hold of them as well. And I can't get a hold of either of them on the cell phones or whatever, but that's not unusual. So no stress. And given now that it's it's after midnight, I'm not sure if I am going to hear from him tonight, but give a little update. Last count for Tony. Thank you guys so much. We got Wanda taken care of, which is beautiful. So that's taken care of. And yes, I wanted to share who it was, Wanda, because you matter that much to us. And if we can't get you into the psyche or the consciousness without knowing, we need to flow. So anyway, that's taken care of. That was priority one. The shipping went out today to Texas. Priority two was Tony. And at the last count, still haven't got all of the numbers in, but you guys have flowed $510 to him that I'm aware of, and that is going to go a long way for him. He doesn't even know about it yet, so it's going to be a nice surprise for him. Thank you guys so much. Wow, I'm blown away, and I just got a tally in. As you're aware, I've got a little $2,200 issue with getting an engine back in my rather particular mode of transportation. Kind of rock and a hard place. Had to be done. I didn't have a choice in it, just based on what is there, what has already been put in there, and let's just say it cleaned me out to get that last summer. And anyway, so from that, I used up I had 600 in reserve. That was for my storage unit, which cost me $160 a month. Vicky covered that for me this month, and I will get it back to you, hon. You know that. Just got to get to where I can get some of my stuff and start selling stuff. But not that there's a lot there, but I know I can cover it. See, that's the thing. I go in the hole every month, right? And that's it's just weird. But anyway, long story short, so that brought it down to what is that? 1,600, and with you guys, you guys slashed that in half. So I am extremely grateful. more than you can imagine. And here's the thing. It's not just a means of getting around. That's actually how I can get food and stuff. So I'm kind of, looking at the, the cupboards and yeah, so thank you. Thank you. I just have a lot more peace tonight, given that I at least have an idea, an inkling of where Tony is. So, and if he's heading into the country, he's got other plans afoot. And like I said, he's resourceful, and he does know quite a few people. Again, it's just with the situation with him and I mean, it's like at least I have a means to get around, albeit not in let's just say, given who I am, I keep my head down. It's not that I'm afraid of it. It's just I don't tempt fate. I've never done that. I just tempt the powers that be, basically, and go at them hardcore. But and by the way, guys, call in. Like I said, I haven't heard from Elliot, and I know with his family life and whatever, things can come up, and he gets busy and whatnot. So it's no big deal. Wednesday's kind of a float night anyway. So if you guys want to call in, 661-467-2401. I'd love to hear from you. Wanda, I'd love for you to call in if you could on Skype. On your radio page there, you can see a little. If you don't see it, just refresh the page, and the Skype button will appear, and Skype in. I'd love to hear from you guys. So, and that was a great story last night regarding the land, Jim.
Yeah.
I caught you off guard, didn't I? I'm sorry about that. Should give you the heads up when I'm gonna, or at least give you 10 or 15 seconds to finish what you're doing.
Well, no, but it was just really interesting because I just looked at my situation and I said, you know what? Why not go ask?
Well, yeah.
Just why not do it? Go out there and put it out there in the ether, and there might be somebody that will pop up and say, hey, you know what? I've got a couple acres here that I'm not doing anything with, and I don't plan on doing anything with it.
Well, see, and that was something, I was going to say that's something that Dean has been working on as well in the background, and we'll cover a bit of that on Friday. Let him share that part of the story. But again, it's like if there's land sitting there that can be utilized, properly and for the right reasons, which is what you're doing. It's not difficult to let others see that, and if they're going to prosper from it as well. I'm talking in food and whatnot. Only a fool would say no. Seriously.
Well, I got a really good story for you if I can find. Oh, here it is. I was on one of your calls the other night, and I cut out because there was another call going on that I think it was Monday night, but that I really wanted to get on because it's something that we had talked on this show, and I wanted to pass that info on to them. But anyway, they kind of know that I'm into this permaculture and transition and aquaponics stuff. And this one guy pops up and he goes, have you ever heard of the Guerrilla Gardener out in L.A.?
Yeah, that's the one I was referring to.
Well, I called him.
Oh, right.
I watched his video and I called him up and I go, Ron, I go, I'm so proud of you for doing this. I said, that is absolutely incredible what you're doing. And he was just like, wow, thanks. And I go, no, this is what we need to be doing all over the world. Why do we have people going hungry when we got all this land? I drive around anymore and I look at all this land and what's growing on it? Grass. And they got to mow it all the time. Why aren't we growing food? Doesn't make any sense. It's totally ridiculous. We're wasting valuable land, and if we just developed all this, what they call public land, if we turn it all into permaculture forests and stuff, we probably wouldn't have to go to the grocery store. That's how much land is out there that is just totally wasted, unused. And once you start looking at it, you kind of get disgusted. You know, I wish I still had my house, because I didn't have a big plot, but I guarantee you, with what I know now, I would be totally food sufficient off that little tiny piece of quarter, half acre, whatever it was. Are you still there, Kate? I think we lost Kate. Anybody else want to call in? I don't want to be here all by my lonesome. Well, it looks like Kate got attacked again. The bozos are, they just don't want to give up. I guess those paychecks are just more important than being free. So, but it would be nice if somebody else could pop in. And I'm not on a screen, so I don't even know if anybody can hear me. So if you can hear me.
I got bumped from the board. So if it goes quiet, Jim, just keep talking.
I did. I was just telling somebody to call in to let me know whether they could hear me or not, because I was getting ready to hang up.
No, we could hear you fine. I got bumped, and Chris just jumped in here too, so we'll bring Chris into the call. Yeah, if it goes quiet, don't stress it. Just keep talking.
Anyway, that's cool.
Oh,
where was I when you cut out?
Oh, you just started talking about the Gorilla Gardener.
Oh, okay.
So it's okay.
Go ahead.
I was going to say I know exactly who. So you got a hold of him.
Oh yeah.
Excellent.
No, and I just told him I just wanted him to know how proud I was, and I wanted him to keep doing it.
That's all people need to hear sometimes,
Oh yeah, and he didn't know me from Adam. I told him, I said, I'm calling you from the Midwest. I watched your video. I've seen what you're doing. I said, I'm proud of you, and keep doing it. And it was just like, wow.
No, that's exactly it. When people get that, I hate using the word recognition. What it is agreement with what they're doing in a very positive way to, change their own environment. And in doing so, they change the environment of those around them. That's the changing your world, and it changes for others. And there's you going out to have a meeting and talk about the very same thing, to put that very same thing into play, which is phenomenal. Oh, okay. I was thinking I lost you guys there. We got Chris in the call. You there, Chris?
Howdy doody. Yes, I am here.
Yes, you is there. Excellent. So, and we still have Jim, yeah?
I'm here.
Okay, no problem. Just making sure. It's. I think we're going to start calling these shows the Blog Talk Jitters. Not quite sure if we're on the air or not. But anyway, how's you doing, Chris?
I'm all right. Eating my supper while listening to the show.
Oh, excellent. And
just posted a thing in the chat. I was saying that before there were lawns, there were actually food growing everywhere, but when the rich had enough money to buy their own food, they didn't need to grow their own food, so it became a symbol of prestige to have lawns to show that you were part of the upper class. So they didn't need to be a peasant and grow their own food, so they would go buy it because they had so much money. And then they would bring in sheep and other animals to graze on the lawns to keep it nice and mowed down. And that's where lawns were born out of.
Well, and now what do we have? A bunch of poisoned food that we're all buying, and probably including them.
Oh yeah, I mean there is a certain echelon level I think you have to reach before you qualify for the non-GMO guarantee. So it doesn't surprise me at all. But yeah, that's an interesting fact of history there. I did not know that. Thank you, Chris.
No problem. There's a good Facebook group. It's that's a page. It's called Grow Food, Not Lawns. And just like Jim was saying, it's completely asinine that we have all this land everywhere, and people are so stuck up in this false aesthetic appearance and beauty that they want to grow lawns and mow the lawns and have these bushes with flowers and everything has to be all pretty, when they can grow food themselves, reduce their costs, not have the pesticides, not have the poisons and the GMO, and actually live healthier lives. But people just don't get it. They're so entrenched in the conditioning of the societal construct that they just don't get it at all.
Yeah, well, again, it's holding up that facade, right? I often used to quip at people about, they'd see a really nice house on the hill. And I said, yeah, it's a really nice house. I wonder if they actually have furniture inside of it. Because I've been around a few different, properties that, really, really nice, but really Spartan inside. It was basically all they could do to hold on to this, this item of self-esteem. And which to me is dumb. I mean, it's like, anytime I see these really flashy cars and typically older guys driving around trying to recapture the youth, first thing I think of is, well, I guess if you can't get it up, you might as well get it on, So again, and that's basically what it boils down to. Sorry, me, I lay it on the line where I see it, and I'm certainly not afraid to call it out. Hey, I do it to myself, and I want no illusions around me. And I had walked in one for a very, very long time. And that's not the place where I live. I live in my heart. And my attitude is simply this. If I want people to actually, hear what I'm saying, well, they better know exactly who it's, being said by. And that for me, and I've talked about this a few times in the past, but that for me was my defining moment in where I was at war with honor with myself. It's like, well, how can I expect anyone to take anything that I'm saying and and I can't even be honest enough to tell them who I am, and that was, the defining moment. And I said, enough. I can't be honest with me. How can anyone expect me to be honest with them? So there it is. A couple of quick shout-outs here as well. Just my Facebook has been going crazy with contacts, so I've got a couple of messages here. I'm not sure if they're tuned in right now, but big hi to Randy and Henriette and Josh and Derek and of course Harry. I gotta say it. Fuck the Romans. Anyway, that's an inside joke. If this individual doesn't put hey Nadia, how are you? If he doesn't put that at the end of his comments, I'm going to question if it's him or not. So, yeah. So what else you guys wanna touch on? I'm in a whole lot better headspace knowing Tony's, out of the situation he was in, and it's just, and what you guys have done is at least given something of a leeway where I know he's got something to fight with. It's like I was saying last night. We're in combat here. We got the hill. We'll hold the hill. Just throw us some ammo. That's all.
Hey, Tate.
Yeah.
I would like to know about your car or truck, whatever it is you got. Are you needing a complete engine?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it is where it's been for the last 3 weeks or so, coming up on a month now. It was a wrist pin that failed. Yeah, an internal. It's one of those critical fails that it's a fluke. It just happens rarely, but it happens, and just so happened it happened to me.
Well, so
yeah, the principalities on this planet don't like me too much.
Well, when you came up with that number, 2,200, whatever,
that was yeah.
Are you getting a deal, or is that just the going rate?
Well, that's there's one strut that has to be done, and the engine, basically a new rebuilt engine put in, and that's pretty typical of the going rate.
Okay.
So,
well,
and it was a friend of a friend. So I know the pencil was sharp on it, and did a full run through on the transportation, and it is immaculate otherwise.
Okay.
Well worth doing is what.
Well, the reason I asked you that is I've got a buddy of mine that's kind of in the aftermarket parts business, and they own salvage companies.
Oh, nice.
And stuff. And I don't know. I mean, I could talk to him about it if I knew exactly what you needed, and just to see what he could come up with. I mean, I just tell him, hey, I'm doing it for a good friend, man. I want give me just a couple dollars over your cost, and get this thing shipped if we could do it that way.
Yeah, it's well with what I did have on hand, that 600, that was basically a deposit to get things rolling. So
okay.
It's sitting there probably waiting for me right now.
Okay.
Again, it's just a matter of coming up with it. And here's the thing: if we can reach that goal, that which I'm hoping, I know my friend will hold on to Gabby for me, and that's a big deal for me. So got to do something. Honestly, guys, it's got to tell you, staying focused on what we do here. I'm talking to everybody because we're all focused on the same consciousness aspect. We're looking at getting this system ripped to shreds and rebuilding it with something that is tangible and beneficial for all of humanity, not just the very select few. Just a lot of stuff just comes at me from different angles, and it's like I haven't got enough balls in the air to juggle. I got to juggle this too, and again, it's I got to. The only feeling I have is I must have something very special to do to get this much principality attention, is what I'm saying. But regardless, hack the shows, do whatever you think you need to, kill my engine on the road, do whatever. I don't give a shit. Have at her. It's if I have to fight for my knees, I will, and I have most of my life. So it's fighting from a prone position has become I've become rather good at it. And I have my up days, I have my down days, and you would not believe how much I appreciate the words and gestures that come in from everyone. I mean, even the people showing up on Facebook and contact requests, and it's like, oh, cool, son, new family member, and then they're like, thanks for adding me. Oh my god. It's like, well, the feeling's mutual. It takes two to dance, and there's nothing I love more than meeting new people. I mean, that was the thrust of my music life. That's why I hung out in the crowds, and that's why I backstage was just to get your guitars tuned, and if I could, I'd bring anybody I could back. It didn't matter to me. So I never treated it as anything other than, hey, I'm just here to play a little guitar and sing a couple of songs and hang out, and hope you enjoy the show. And met thousands of people that way. And
go ahead.
I was going to say, every one of them matters. Every one of them.
Well, I would probably, now this is an assumption, but I would probably say that most people that are kind of within this mindset that we're in, I would say they're probably naturally persons. That they just like they like people.
Yeah. I do. I've always enjoyed being in crowds. I've always enjoyed being in crowds of people. I love doing that. See, and that's the thing too. And I will say this: if this is one of my foibles, I love being in crowds of people on my terms. Okay, and I'm speaking in terms of when people are coming to shows or whatever. There was a common purpose with all of us. Right now, I'm going to compare that to walking through a shopping mall. I hate crowds.
Well, no.
You know what I mean?
I understand the differentiation, and I agree with you there. Because walking through a shopping mall, you know what I think about nowadays? The scene in the movie The Matrix, where Morpheus brings Neo into like downtown New York or something, and people are just walking by just totally blind. They don't know what's going on. That's what I feel like when I go into crowds like that.
Yeah, and then of course a lady in red shows up, distracts you, and then they take you out.
Yeah.
You know, actually that was a really nice outfit. I have to say that. So that goes beyond saying. It was gorgeous. Anyway, hey, and still me, right? No, but it's true. I love being in large groups of people that have a common purpose and a common common reason for being there. You know, either to be entertained or to be the entertainer. You know, and there was always such a magic around that, and the energy of playing and throwing that energy out to the crowd, and then it coming right back again. So it was this beautiful electromagnetic thing going on all the time. And the best shows were the ones where you're literally like you're floating, and you're not even thinking about what you're playing or what you're singing. It's just there, and the whole crowd's with you on it, and it was just great. Those are the magic moments for me. I performed before in my younger days. I mean, and it was just high school type stuff, but we were a top band, and when you got a crowd that really enjoyed what you were doing, you're right. It was like floating on air. It was probably one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. Oh, exactly, and there's no words for it. I mean, I can sit here, for hours trying to explain to people that that experience, but it's something very, very magical. Oh, and before I forget, I got 25 minutes left here, so I better get my shout outs in. I wanted to do a shout out to David in California. You and me, boyfriend, we're going roller coaster riding. Okay, I just made somebody laugh. That was the point of that. Anyway, I try not to forget things, but I do. So. Oh, cool. Zach just popped by and posted here. That's good. So I'm just trying to stay on top of everything. Oh, got an echo going on. Who's got their speakers on? There we go.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. That's no problem. Chris, you're so quiet, my friend.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's my ego personality construct. That's the way I am, or the conditions in my life that have brought me to be that way. I don't know. Like you guys say, you like crowds. I'm not too big on crowds. I like small groups and comfortable familiarity of people I know, and circumstances of life, I guess.
Well, yeah, and in that light, I will say the same thing. The difference when you're talking to the small groups, which my preference definitely. With the large groups that I'm speaking of, it's like that small group because it has the common purpose. But like going into the bigger cities, it just buries me.
Yeah. Well, here's another thought for you, Chris. Because I like those small familiar groups too, but how about if you found yourself with maybe 100 people or a couple hundred people, and they were totally like-minded with you. They understood. They've been studying the same things you have, and you can turn to anybody in that crowd, start a conversation, and you know exactly what each other are talking about, and you're just right there with each other.
Absolutely.
I think that's what Kate and I are talking about. And the
I
more
agree
the
with
merrier.
that, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a bigger coffee table.
Yeah, I mean, I've experienced that. I've experienced that before, and there was about 10 to 15,000 people, and I had the absolute time of my life. It was incredible. And I could turn to anybody, and I could just start talking to them, and we'd start talking about a subject, and we both knew the same stuff. And it just floored me.
And that really makes a difference.
Yes.
For sure, when you find that commonality of understanding, that's how deeper friendships and can grow, in my view, when you have the same kind of philosophies on life and stuff. And we're not all the same, but we can have a general idea. And the people I'm living with now, and we're starting the permaculture community in the mountains here, we have some issues, like he doesn't think there's truth, and he doesn't think there's right and wrong, and I don't know, he likes to bullshit and troll around, and I don't feed the troll, and I don't like to give attention whores the attention that they always like, so I stay in my room and I just learn what I learn, and when our goals align in the permaculture and building that community, well, that's where our goals align, but otherwise it's hard to have a concise conversation and get somewhere, because he likes to twist things around and be a devil's advocate and such.
Yeah. You know what? There's always a bad apple somewhere.
Yeah, we seem to find them too, huh?
Well, and but you know, Chris, that's really interesting. What mountains are you guys doing this in?
Well, I live in Hawkesbury, Ontario. It's right on the border on the Ottawa River, right beside Quebec.
Nice.
And
nice.
the land is in Grenville, the town right beside Hawkesbury, and in like, I guess, a 15-minute drive, you go up a little mountain. It's not like a mountain; it's more like a hill, I guess. But it's technically a mountain because everything else is flat around here. And in there, he has 110 acres with a few ponds made by some beavers at the top of the mountain hill, and we built a reciprocal roof structure last year, the year before. Just me and him, the two of us, all alone. And this year I'm starting the food going up on the north, on the south side of the mountain, because we built the initial structure on the north side, and there's not much sun because of the way the mountain goes. Anyways, we're starting to grow food this year, so that's going to be a good big thing. But he still wants to make structures and doesn't agree with me on everything, but I'm like, well, I don't care. Build the structures you want. I'll go make the food myself. I know where I'm going. I know what the plan is. I have good time management, and I know that we need to grow food because we're already living in a house. We already got one structure. We don't need more and more structures for people. We need to get things going and the priorities.
Well, just make sure that you map out where he wants the structures so that you can properly design it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd be prepared for that. I'd be proactive with that. I'd just say, okay, map it out right now. Where are you going to put these structures so that we can design around it?
Exactly. Hey, Jim, have you got the show running in the background?
No.
Okay, because I got everything we're saying is echoing back.
That's probably just because of the speakers. If he uses a headset or earphones, we wouldn't get that.
Well, that's the thing, is he's on the phone. Here, one sec. I'm just gonna put you on hold for a second and see what's going on here. It's driving me nuts.
No, that's fine.
One sec. Okay. Yeah, there's somehow it's looping back through Jim's phone. That's really bizarre. There, because it stopped. Now I can actually hear myself think once instead of twice. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's doing that. I'm gonna unmute you again, Jim, just to see if it's just something to do with the connection. Weird. Unmuted. There you go. Well, still echoing.
Is it?
I was going to say, do you want?
I'll hang up and call back in.
Okay, good enough. That works for me. All right. Yeah, just a lot of weird stuff going on. So hopefully the calling back in will solve that, because it wasn't doing it before. So I'm not sure what happened. But again, just another quick update with Tony. I'm waiting to hear from him directly, but I am in contact with someone that is in the area and has a better idea of what's going on where I don't. And you know what's really bizarre here, Chris, is I'm looking at the clock here, and I got 17 minutes left. Oh, there he is. Let me just bring him in. I just want to check to see if I've got 1 second. Move some stuff out of the way here. Okay. Okay. I know where he's heading now. So, all right. He's on the train. So there you go. We got you, Jim?
Yeah.
Okay, there, the echo's gone. Excellent. So there must have just been something looping in the line there.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised at that, because I've got this old AT&T digital phone, and over the last, I don't know, 8 years or so that I've been calling into shows. I can even go on speakerphone and everybody says, "What kind of a phone do you have?" Because I don't ever echo. So I was kind of surprised with that. But now I'm hearing myself. I'm getting an echo on my end.
Yeah, I thought I caught something coming back there. No, it's okay. You're fine here. I do want to make a very strong point of this. Here we are in the equinox, guys.
Yep.
All different parts of the planet are going through it. Something, and Tony and I talked about this last week off air, and what people need to really focus on right now, myself included. This is a constant fight. Oops, we got another caller in, so I'll get the line open. And I mean that in the positive sense. I hate using these words because they have such negative connotations. Things are manifesting at light speed right now. That's why the fear porn has been ramping up. That's why you've got people like Anger Jones out there ramping up the fear. You can talk about somebody waking up a planet and all the rest of it, but at the same time, you still have to be aware of the product they're pushing, right? If they're pushing fear porn, FEMA camps, 2 billion bullets, war here, and death, murder, kill over there, and all the rest of it, that is the attempt to keep that consciousness focused on the drama and the lower frequency vibrations. So get your mind into the sunrise and keep it positive, because what's happening right now is, as a consciousness, we are manifesting hardcore. So, and I've said this before, it literally will take, I think, what was it, I worked it out to something like 32 people on this planet have to get into an awakened state to basically manifest the entire thing. One individual is good for a quarter of them, basically 200,000 people is what it worked out to. One truly awakened being can affect 200,000 around them. That's how powerful you are. And yeah, we've been hammered down for a very long time, but we're not hammered down anymore. And this is exactly what's going on. But we do have one caller. I've got 15 minutes here, so I want to make sure I get everyone on. Area code 937.
Hello, Kate. It's Vincent from Dayton, Ohio. How you doing?
Oh, my God, Vince. How are you?
Okay. I figured since the show was short tonight, I'd call in, and I'd make it brief. I thought it was kind of interesting. I just went out for my wife to get some stuff. It's 30 degrees here, and it's going to be 16 overnight on the spring equinox.
Wow, that's cold for Dayton.
Yeah. It's cold here. I wanted to ask Jim, if I could, a quick question about, he was talking a little bit earlier, and if I'm too loud, tell me. I'm on a speakerphone.
You sound great. You sound great.
Okay. I just wanted to ask Jim and you if you'll tell me or not. I'm not sure, but he was talking earlier about driving without plates, a license, and so forth. I wanted to ask if he would suggest, number one, how long has he been doing that for? And you always say, lose the name, win the game. Would you suggest trying to either just letting our license just not renew our stuff, or give it back, or don't do anything, or for someone that wants to get out of the system, as you say?
Okay. Go ahead, Jim. Answer with your experience. I'll make my answer's really short and sweet. I do what I do because I know I can handle it. All right. So that's how I handle my life. I don't tell anybody to do this or that and the other. I tell them what I have done, and to see if it resonates. Baby steps. So, Jim.
Well, yeah, that's a personal decision. You really got to look at, what is it that you're trying to accomplish? If you really feel like you want out of the system, there's steps you're going to have to take, but you have to make plans for, I don't know if you're still working or anything like that. So, there's a lot of variables in there. But there's a lot of people out there that will help you with your reasoning as far as, should I or should I not do this? on this group, notacitizen.com, and they've got talk show recordings and stuff that you can listen into. But like the head guy that kind of started the group, he still keeps one of his cars with a license plate on it because his wife doesn't want to deal with it. But he doesn't have a license, and he's not insured. So when he drives the car, yeah, he's taking a chance. Now, I haven't had a valid license for nearly 2 years now. I haven't had insurance for that long. And my tags expired in October. So I made my own tags up, and I've been driving on them since.
Yeah.
And I've already been pulled over, and I've already gotten a couple tickets.
Yeah, as something else, just to reinforce what Jim's saying, that was the same thing I did with Sue. I kept her in the system so she would be comfortable, because she wasn't ready to do things that I was doing, and she, had a job, and same basic scenario. So again, I was the one that completely.
That's almost Kate. That's almost a scenario I've got right now. It's with the natural gas company for almost 8 years. I was laid off in January the 14th. Doesn't look like our jobs are going to be coming back. And my wife is not really, when I try to talk to her about this stuff, I can tell there's some resistance there, so it's kind of like I'm on my own with this stuff. But I was just wondering if, I've listened to Dean Clifford and you guys for a while, and I was just wondering if you guys thought that maybe people should try to get, if they wanted to, of course. I know what you're saying. You don't want to say what we should do, but if they wanted to, get their birth certificate back, and I don't even know if you can get your original anymore.
Well, you can't. But Vince, what I'm going to suggest to you, do you have Skype?
No, I do not.
Okay, I'm gonna actually strongly suggest you get it, and that way you can get a hold of me direct, and I'll spend a bit of time and I'll go over a couple of things with you, and put your mind at ease. It's a very easy.
I'd love to do a three-way.
Well, I'm a walking three-way, so let's get on it.
Because the way that I look at it is that, and I don't know, Kate, how you would feel about this, but most females are, security is that's their hot point.
Yeah, now you know me.
Right.
Now you know me. Now you know the war I was going through. Because the persona.
I don't know. You got a challenging side to you now.
Well, see, that's the thing is this is the duality war that I've been in. Every decision I've made has been made from a female perspective, and people don't get that because they hear the voice and they've always known me as this, that, and the other. But no, with me, it's wow, that was weird. Something just went by. Wow, I think it was a bird. Anyway, with me, no, that's always been my perception. That's always been who I am. Yet I always had to have the strong veneer based on societal demands.
Right.
So, and this is the thing. When you look at the Judge Bows to Sovereign video, that was a girl standing there. That wasn't a guy.
I've seen it a few times. I know which one you're talking about.
I think the whole planet's seen that one a few times.
Yeah.
Well, but here's another consideration, and it's Dean, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's Dean?
No, Vince was on the call. I thought you were talking about Dean Clifford. And Dean's going to be on Friday with us, by the way, with Jordan and Santo.
Anyway, but if you have the inkling that you want to do this, at least on your side, if your wife's not into it, don't pull her into it. But I think that the more people that do this, it's going to help break this thing down.
Yeah. Here's a suggestion for you guys, and I'm going to get a commitment out of both of you. What I'm going to do, I haven't got anybody booked for Sunday, so what I was thinking of doing is maybe why don't we get you guys to call in, and whoever else wants to join in this, please. That's what we're here for. Okay, this is to get everyone involved. Why don't we get together Sunday? It'll be the 8 to 10 slot. It won't be an hour. We got like 5 minutes left here, but. The thing is, we really need to spend a couple hours on this, like right from the get-go, and then just hammer some things out if you guys are into it.
Well, I'm telling you what, I would love to do that, and Kate, I'm telling you, I want to bring in this guy, Mark Fishman.
Okay.
From Not a Citizen, because when you sit and listen to him, I mean, he has totally gone to peace.
Yep.
He has totally gone to peace. He's not fighting with them anymore. He just tells them, hey, you know, when he gets pulled over, driver's license, registration, insurance. Well, I don't have any of that. I'm not for hire. I'm not traveling in commerce. How can I help you? And if they demand some type of identification, he pulls out his birth certificate.
Well, that's it. I mean, and they can't touch it because it says right on mine not to be used for identification. These are the things
exactly.
These are the things that I want to go over. I want to touch on the birth bond, what the things that happen, why you will never see the original, what was created with it, the ethereal aspects of it, and all the rest of it. And 2 hours will not be enough on Sunday. But what I want to do is I want to get real time people that are having these questions, and I can share one-on-one with you guys and whoever calls in and everyone listening, my experiences, and we'll get down and dirty and personal on it, and we'll get the different scenarios that I've been in, and then we can just hash it out just to give people at least an overview. But I'll tell you right now, Vince, the easiest way, and rather than throwing some panic into your wife, and it's a very scary thing for women. I'm telling you, it is. Everything I did terrified the living shit out of me. You have no idea how much I went through making every choice that I made. It was not easy at all. I wasn't making it from the big rough and tough, general contractor, the 5'9", 145 pounds soaking wet. I was, coming at it from that interior, who I am, what I am, that compassionate essence. And it's very difficult coming up against those that have no compassion, and all you have for them is pity, and they don't get it. It's just not registering. But I think that's a very worthy thing. Baby steps with your wife. Easy solution is don't use credit cards, don't use debit cards. Do everything in cash, because you get very mindful of everything. And then start going organic. And I'm going to go over. I'll share on Sunday my female perspective on what I would love to have had happen from where I'm coming from, and try to bring that to the table. I know the voice kind of fucks it up, but sorry, this is who I am.
Well, Kate, I listened to. I didn't get on the call last night with the not a citizen call.
Okay.
But I listened to it today, and I don't have a personal bank account. I set up a religious trust, and I'm the trustee of it, and that has the bank account. But
okay.
now that I don't have any government ID, I'm going, you know what? I might have some difficulty with that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down and I'm going to get me a state non-driver's license, and it will only be used for the purpose. If I need to go to the bank, I'll bring it with me. Otherwise, it's going to sit in my drawer at home.
Okay, and we got just over 2 minutes here, so I want you to hold these thoughts. I'd like you, if you can, it's Randy, you were saying? The gentleman's name, Jim?
Mark.
Mark. If you can get a hold of Mark, give him a heads up for Sunday. You have my Skype. And if you want to pass that over, and I can certainly touch base with Mark before Sunday or whatever he wants. But I think that, these are the kind of questions that people need to start feeling comfortable with, okay? Because it is a very personal decision, and I want people to do what they're capable of doing. I don't want anyone doing what I do, because I know what I'm capable of. And I'm a bitch, and I'll stand in the face of it. I've looked down the barrel of a gun. It didn't bother me. I didn't like it, but it didn't scare me. You know, if you're going to take me out, the universe says so, then fucking pull the trigger, asswipe. You know?
Well, hey, and Kate, I can tell you right off, I mean, I know that I've got a lot of the feminine side in me because my father and I always butted heads. He never understood me.
Yep.
And there hasn't been one of these things that I've done that I haven't just been in pure fear. But I just felt I had to do it just for my own, I don't know, I mean, I knew that what was going on was wrong, and I was sick of it, and I just said, no, you've got to stand up.
Exactly. Well, I don't want to cut you short, Jim, and this is what I'm pissed off because this was going to roll into something beautiful here. We got like a minute left here. Exactly 60 seconds. So I want to do my shout-outs to Critical Mass Radio, Paul, Lisa, and the crew for giving us this platform. As I said last night, this was donated to us, and it's a $1,200 a year platform. So I have nothing but gratitude, and if you can flow things over to Critical Mass Online, it's criticalmassradio.co.uk. They have a donate button there too. Feel free. Every penny counts to keep these things rolling, guys. That's why we're here. Yeah.
Let me just tell you that whenever you want to do something, okay, and you don't have Blog Talk available, I've got my own talk shoe.
Oh, okay.
And I can open it whenever.
Okay. Well, hey, you try shutting me up.
No, I'm serious because I can set it up within minutes and we can have a call. I mean,
okay.
It doesn't take me anything. So.
Well, that's awesome. No problem.
Jim.
Anytime. Thanks, listeners. We're going off the air. We just went off air. Okay. Bloody hell, this hour thing just drives me batty, you know?
Oh, it was good. That was a good hour.
Oh, it was. It was solid. And that's why, like, Vince, you've got some serious questions that need answering. And I'm talking from the perspective of your wife. And having been there and lived it myself, plus my partner, female, it was not easy. But the choices I made kept her safe, and these are the things that I had to, literally bite the bullet. And it took me to the cleaners, and she ended up okay. Everyone around me ended up okay. It's, all the pieces were put in where they needed to be put in. And, yeah, you know what? Fuck Blog Talk. We can keep going for a few minutes here, and then get it on the download. Anyway, yeah, we got probably 15 minutes anyway, so.
Well, I mean, I understand the woman's vantage point. Yeah, and I mean I totally understand it. But if we're going to fix the problem, somebody's got to do something.
Well, that's it. While we're on this very interesting, and it's a very important subject, what we're dealing with here when we're dealing masculine and feminine is electromagnetic, and they are one and the same, yet opposite, equal and opposite at the same time. And when you speak of like the effeminate side or the masculine side, what you're talking about is the magnetic and the electrical. And what is occurring with people more now in this consciousness is they're starting to bring those duality aspects into a singularity. To make it easier and more comfortable for guys, some guys have a real issue with, effeminate, right? Well, no, what we're talking about here is the nurturing, compassionate, creative, bringing together with that protective, strong intent. And when you put those together, now you have singularity. That's your masculine, male-female. All I am I'm a born clue. That's all I am. I have my preferences of creative and compassion, which far outweighs that the other side. But I still bring that. I bring powerful intent to the table, and that is the electrical masculine. So I've got the best of both worlds, and I got to tell you though, in this place, it's really messed up because the face and voice do not match. Period. So it is a bit of a mind screw for a lot of people. Guaranteed, though, I make people's days interesting when I walk in somewhere. Everything's fine until I open my face.
Well,
Weird,
I stumbled with you at first.
Mm-hmm. And again, and the other thing with me too is, some people will say he, some will say she, and whatever. And I'm sorry, it doesn't matter to me. My preference obviously is she, but I can't be offended on that because I know who I am, and I also understand what I am presenting to people as well. That I'm very confusing, and I am a reality check that most people haven't had the opportunity to confront. And I'm very grateful that, one, I have the ability to go on the air the way I do. I'm grateful that I've had the years on stage that have given me the voice and the fortitude to do what it is that I do and bring the message to the table from the balanced, it's a divine trinity. That's the say, the S-E, the Latin S-E, himself, herself, itself. I bring that divine trinity together, and I've had a lifetime of coming to terms with that. So in that regard, it's not like, well, I'm better or I'm special. No, I've had, in the curse that I've lived, I've been given the equal blessing. And I take
we definitely need to get you back to music. That's for damn sure.
I know, my heart's there. I'm running 3 days in a row picking my guitar up. My fingers, the calluses are gone, so it's going to take me a couple of weeks to work them back up again because I can't play for too long because it just hurts. It hurts a lot.
Well, I played a trumpet, and it would take a good month and a half, 2 months to get the chops back in shape. So I totally understand.
I know where I'm coming from, and that's it. Getting my chops are there. I can still rattle, but it's getting that pressure back again and getting the calluses so that it doesn't feel like someone's taken a hot poker to each fingertip. And I'll play until that point. And I got to tell you, it's. Yeah, well, it's funny. I talked to my guitar, and I was saying, okay, this is just your revenge because I haven't played with you for a while. I know, I get it. It's all good. But and I was saying last night too, is getting that purpose back to play. I've been out of it for 3 years, where I've only done actually 2 years completely. The first year when I was doing this, truth movement stuff, I did maybe, 10, 12 gigs, and that was it, But no, I that's where my heart is, and I want to get back there. And like I said, this to me right now is just a little aside. I'm just singing a different song right now, or actually, I'm not. I'm singing the same song just without my guitar, because my songs all say exactly what I've been saying all along.
Well,
and
I can attest to the fact that once you start to learn, once you go down that first rabbit hole, it swallows your life. It really does.
Well, it certainly swallowed mine,
Oh yeah,
talking baby.
I've been doing this since about 1990, 91, and it's just been one hole after another, and it just kind of takes over on its own.
Well, yeah, I'm a newbie.
And you can't get away from it. It's just like the movie The Matrix. Once you take that pill, it's over.
It is.
You can't stop.
And that's the thing with me. I came out of the gate 3 years ago. January 2010. And here in September 2010, and I'm there's the Judge Bows to Sovereign video, and actually, effectively since May of 2010, I was a target, hardcore, and they came at me hard because I was really, really well known in my town, and I was a clear and present threat to their little domain, and they had to do everything they could to completely destroy me in every way. Smear me through the papers and all the rest. Here's a newspaper that for decades, literally, couldn't say enough good things about me and what I was doing for the community, bringing the city a world record and all the rest of this shit. And then, as soon as I say, well, I want to be even better, I want to be, lawful and all the rest of it, they couldn't destroy me fast enough. So it was quite a dichotomy that occurred. Very, and of course, I'm walking through my life going, nothing I did mattered, to these people. It's like, so it was very disheartening, at the same time as it was empowering. And all I wanted was to be left alone. That was the bottom line. I caught on to the lies, I caught on to the ruse, and all they had to do was leave me alone. But they couldn't do it, and it ended up costing the chief his job. 2 weeks into solitary, they fired him.
Yeah. Well, I've always, even when I was young, all my whole life, I've been very passionate, and one of my biggest passions, if not the greatest, is that I cannot stand to see somebody be wronged. I cannot. It
drives me nuts.
Me. Oh, I just want to strangle somebody. I'm like, how dare you? How dare you take advantage of that person? How dare you do that? And I was, from the time I was in grade school until I got out of college, I don't know how many fights I got into. And you know what? I never once got into a fight that I started. And probably 90% of the time, I was coming after somebody because what they did to somebody else. I was defending somebody.
Yeah. That happened to me in high school.
Yeah, I mean, I just can't stand it. And that's why I got so passionate over this movement. Is I started going, you guys are lying to everybody. You're ripping people off. You're ruining people's lives. How the hell can you live with yourselves? And somebody's got to do something about you. Well, you pick me. Here I am.
Yeah, pick me. I'll take you down, you son of a bitch. And that's what it boils down to. And yeah, Pat likes when I say I'm a walking three-way. Well, I am. What do you want, boy, girl? It's all good. Sorry, I'm still getting tagged here on Skype. But I think. Oh, go ahead, Jim.
When Hal called me today, and we got talking about Santos and you guys, and him coming on the shows and everything, and he says, "Oh, I just love it." He says, "I just love it when Santos says, 'Look, boys, it's over, and we're tired of this shit. We're just tired of it. Get done with it. You're over.'"
Yeah, and Santo has such a beautiful way of putting it, And then you throw in that Aussie accent, it takes it over the top, But the game is over for them, and we're going to do everything in our power. I said it last night, to the death, and like I said, we'll hold the hill. We just want people to come up. Hey, listen, if you can't jump on the firing line with us, then just get us some ammo. Just keep us supplied. Keep us where we can keep this torch flaming, and we will. We've been doing it without that. We've used up all our. You want to talk about the founding fathers? I've used up my life, family, and fortune. It's gone. It's completely gone. And this is hanging by thread time, and someone's oiled the damn thing. So don't worry, we're stubborn. And
now,
go ahead.
What's the guy from Dayton's name? Is it Vince?
Vincent, yeah.
Yeah, Vincent. I want to read both of you guys this because you probably never read it. This is on notacitizen.com. This is their mission statement. The purpose of the Not a Citizen website is to inspire people to remember who they truly are, provide information and support to awaken their inherent creator-given power and authority, and to freely give the necessary tools to manifest responsible self-governance, a deeper sense of self-awareness, and a peaceful transition out of the current nanny state.
Perfect. That works for me. That's a really nice way. Well, I say it differently. I say, get your ass out of the whore of Babylon. Stop bedding her.
Right.
And that's just a really nice way of putting it, and that's exactly it, you know. And that's where we are. This is what we're seeing, and I'm not sure how much longer we have on Blog Talk here, so we'll just go until it drops its ass off.
That's fine.
Yeah, no, they cut me off for an hour, so I'm going to use up what I can. You know, but I think the points you brought up tonight, Vincent, are critical in terms of, you know, relationships and whatever. You know, how to handle certain things. I mean, yeah, you wanna scare a woman, shake down her house. And I put my own home on the line. You know, 17 years paying for it, and they just, well, I mean, I'll be talking with Dean, and we're gonna take care of some of that. And I said to him, I says, we get this victory with me, it's gonna wake up the planet.
Well, Vincent, if you'll go to notacitizen.com.
There you go.
Okay. You see the Talk Shoe tab at the top?
Yes, I do.
If you'll just click on that, that will take you directly to the Talk Shoes, and you can listen to their archives. And I would start from the latest first.
Yeah, but it says there's 41 past episodes. That's not too bad.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, and I say that even with my own shows, you don't have to go back too many shows because we keep everything relevant now. And everything that happens, we bring it, you know, forward in the now. You know, it depends on how much background people need, but I do touch on a lot of things that I revisit stuff because I know that not everyone has been listening to me for the last 5 years. So I bring things up, and
hey Jim,
what's that?
Jim, do they have a show on certain days and times, or no, just whatever?
They typically do them just Tuesday nights every other week.
Okay.
And then there's another group that just kind of branched off, talking about the same things that are doing them on Monday nights. So, you know, and between Kate and Tony and Santo and Not a Citizen and Collective Consciousness, and I'm on a show every evening of the week. Period.
Okay.
yeah, me too.
I am. I mean, if and when I'm at work, I listen to archives while I'm working.
Yeah, I've got friends that do that. They'll download even Eric here. I'll download the episodes for him and throw them on a stick. And when he goes into what he does, he takes it and listens to it.
Well, and I can tell you, I've noticed drastically in the last 4 years, things have speeded up like crazy.
Oh, it's exponential right now. Like there is shit happening daily. Where it was, you know, taking 2 or 3 months for stuff to manifest. Now it's every friggin' day. You know,
Jim.
Yeah.
Jim, how do you work without having like a driver's license? That's one of my concerns. That if I do not renew my license, which actually is my birthday coming up September 1st, let's say, you know, like when you go for a job anywhere, unless you're self-employed or something, they're going to ask you for your driver's license.
Well, go get a non-driver's license. Do you have to drive when you're on the job?
The job I had for the last 8 years, yes, but I was laid off January 14th. It doesn't look like our jobs are going to be coming back either.
Well, because I have an office job, so all I do is drive back and forth.
Yeah, I was checking houses for gas leaks on the outside of the houses. That's what I was doing.
So yeah, I mean, so that might not be practical for you. You just got to look at your situation.
Look at your situation. This is why I really want to go over this. And Vincent, I need to get you on Skype. That way, I can add you to a couple of groups. And you know, Tammy's group.
How does Skype work now? How do you?
Well, it's a free download. So just I think it's Skype.com. Just go to
SKYPE.
Yeah, SKYPE.com.
Right.
And it's a free download, whatever you're running, whatever platform you're running. And you're on Facebook, yeah?
Yeah, I'm in your friends group.
I know. So what I'll do is I'll post on Facebook my Skype info. It's katie.renee.thompson. And my handle, which you'll see when it comes up, is Cygnus Trumpets. Sort of like, your call sign for CB or whatever. That's what I go by on Skype, but katie.renee.thompson. So it's KATIE .RENEE, two E's on this one, the proper spelling, THOMPSON. Just do, and when you get the Skype up, you just put it into the search and it'll find me right away, and then just send me a contact request, and or once you get it set up, just Facebook message me with your Skype address, and I'll search you, and then all you have to do is click on contact request. It'll come up, it'll notify you, and then just hit accept. It's really easy, and once you get on it, you'll wonder why you weren't on it before. Promise.
And then what? You could just talk for free.
Right? Skype to Skype is free. I talk around the world all day, every day.
Yep. You need to go get yourself a cheap headset that has a microphone. You can get them for $25-$30.
Yep.
Yeah, Kate already told me that a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, my headset that I'm using right now, I've got two of them, and they're pretty beat up. $20.
I bet.
Yep.
And it's radio quality. I mean, I hear the recordings, and this mic that I've got on this headset is, you fart across the room, it'll pick it up.
I used to talk a lot with Australia several years back, and Skype was still fairly young, and I'm telling you, it sounded like the people were next door to me.
And it seriously, the delay between Santo and myself, in terms of conversation, basically the same echo that you have. That's how fast it goes. Like, I mean, this is incredible. You're literally, it is. You're sitting right next to people. I mean, Santo, that's how I talk to him all the time, and he's in the groups that I'll put you into as well. You'll have direct contact with all of it.
So you do a lot of stuff on Facebook, Kate?
Oh yeah, that's where I do all the promo. And of course,
okay.
I don't use email so much anymore. It's too slow. My computers are slow enough as it is, and for me to sit and wait for, Hotmail and whatever, it drives me batty. Because I can get out to, tens of thousands of people through Facebook and the groups that I've got. And all my promo, I didn't even do that tonight. Didn't have time, but trying to get the show figured out. But yeah, it's amazing. I hit everybody. It takes me about half an hour to go through all, to copy and paste all the links to all the different groups I'm in, and it goes out to I think last check, probably between 10 and 20,000 people. So we're averaging about 12,000 people per show right now.
On Critical Mass at 8 o'clock every night?
Well, right now it is because of the daylight savings, and I have to see that when we went to daylight savings here, we jumped ahead an hour. But the UK is still on winter time. They don't change until the 31st of March. So until then, we'll be running 8 to 10, and then after that, back to the 7 to 9 prime time.
But you're saying how many people are listening? You're saying 12,000 people? Yeah,
we're averaging about 12,000. Typically, the Friday nights with Santo, Jordan, myself, will be, 15, 20 or better.
I don't know that many people.
Yeah. I mean, when I was with Freedom Reigns, because it had been established, especially with Drake being a part of that, and, Deatra ripped him off too. Yeah, she's quite the fraudster, that one. But anyway, Deatra, she's the one that owns Freedom Reigns.
I remember a few months ago, you and I were in a group together, and I don't even know if you want to go into it. I don't care. It doesn't matter. But something happened where someone said something about posting on the wall about too many times.
Oh, that was, yeah. Yeah, that was Katie Buckaloo. That was no big deal. It was just a misunderstanding.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll give you the background. I'll give you the background on that off the show. There's no big deal. It's fine. It's all good.
I was just noticing that you were gone after that, but I just figured, well, it's between you two, so.
Yeah. No, it's like I don't have time for dramas.
Yeah.
So anytime there's potential for that, I hightail it out and get lost because I don't get caught up in it. You know, it's very easy.
Yeah.
And the whole point in trying to get all the hosts together, we're trying to get all the people together, and when I see any sense of division at all, where there might be feathers ruffled or whatever, be it someone else or me, I want to be a part of that. So I'll move along. Keep the peace. That's my position.
Yeah, I'm a little bit younger than you. I'm 43, but I'm the same way. I don't want any nonsense for drama or anything like that either. So
don't have time for it. None of us do.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh.
Yeah,
all right. Well, I was going to say, guys, I'm going to wrap this up right now because I want Vincent to get on in Skype, and I can get you on Skype too, and we can do this in a call versus on the tail end of the show.
And I don't have a headset or a microphone yet, so.
Well, you got a laptop?
Excuse me?
You have a laptop?
I have a laptop, yes.
Yeah, the mic will be built into it. How old is it?
It's a Dell, and I think they were bought about 3 years ago, maybe?
Oh, it'll have a mic built into it. They all do. You'll be surprised. You're going to find out stuff about your computer.
Yeah, so just real quick question, I'll let you go. But when you guys are doing the Monday show with Johnny Guzman, you guys are all on Skype, apparently. That's what Skype is.
Yeah. We go through Skype with that on video.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh? Yeah, it's quite a tool.
Yeah. Alrighty.
All right, guys. Well, I'll end this. I need you to get on Skype, so I want you to do that as soon as we get off the show here. And I'll just do a big thank you to all the listeners. And, wow, thanks. Great call. And we'll do that Sunday, so mark that in your calendars, 8 to 10 Sunday night, Eastern Standard Time. Okay?
Perfect. I got 3 minutes on my phone at that time, so that's perfect.
Excellent. And you can Skype in too. Get a headset, and there you go. Okay?
Oh, I forgot about that, yeah.
Now you have no excuse anymore. All right, guys. I'll leave it at that, and I'll wait to hear from you off the air. And thanks again, listeners, for tuning in to, it turned into an hour and 26 minutes. They're going to cut it off any second. That's why I wanted to finish this. Thanks so much for tuning in to Critical Mass Radio. Outside the Box, your host, Kate of Gaia, with special guests Vincent and Jim tonight, and, of course, Chris. Much love to everybody. We'll catch you tomorrow night. Tammy Pepperman, Pat Chuley on Leaving the Farm, and, of course, Friday, Santo Bonacci, Jordan Maxwell, special guest Dean Clifford coming in. Hopefully Tony will be as well by then, and, of course, myself. Guaranteed to be a wild ride. Much love to everybody. Take care, and we'll catch you tomorrow night.
Good night.
Talk to you in a bit.
Good night.
Bye.